Is there any experiments that I can do myself or anyone else that proves the Earth is a ball?
Get two people to look at the moon, and the fact that if the Earth were flat and you tried to look at the moon, you would see completely different surfaces of the moon. There'd be some overlap, but they'd be completely different surfaces of the moon. The fact that that doesn't happen only makes sense with a globe Earth. In fact, you can do the math on this because people all around the world, they record where the angle of the moon in the sky is, and you can superimpose those angles on a flat Earth, and what you find is those lines don't converge anywhere at all. All the lines go past each other and they never touch. But when you take that data and you wrap it on a globe, all of the lines point straight out because an object hundreds of thousands of miles away with an extremely small parallax across the surface of the Earth, that's exactly what it would do. So yeah, you can demonstrate it very easily.
I guess that's a little confusing.
Well, okay. Or you could go look at the sunset,
What does that prove?
that the Earth is a sphere.
How?
What would the sun do if the Earth were a sphere as you rotated out of the light of the sun? What would the sun do?
Well, I mean, I think both of those examples there are flat Earth explanations for it.
No, there
But
aren't.
here's what?
No, there aren't. So what would the sun do as you on a spherical Earth as you rotated out of the path of light, the visibility of it? What would it do?
Well, I'm not denying that it would do that on a spherical model,
And that's exactly what we see.
but it also works on a flat Earth model as well. So
In
I'm
no
not
way
really-
whatsoever does it work at all because the sun's always above you. It would never leave your sight ever for any reason at all.
Well, I think you can replicate the same thing. Somebody did a video where they have a flat table and they have a penny that moves across a flat table. It looks like it's a setting penny. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, they
if you
use
can do
these
that- if you can do
lenses,
that
but
on a
what those
flat
lenses do is they completely destroy the foreground in front of you. Is that how a sunset works? No. Like
Well,
here,
those
I have
are-
an experience. Like, did you know that actually the entire it doesn't it's like flat Earth, globe Earth, it doesn't matter. Did you know that literally none of it exists? And there's actually an experiment you can do to prove it.
What's that?
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, there. Is that what reality actually is?
Okay. What's your point?
My point is their experiments are as remedial as they are.
Okay. Well, how about this experiment? You take what about a gyroscope? And I'm not talking about the ones with lasers and software and all
Yeah,
that.
because
kind of
that
thing. I'm
proved
talk-
that the Earth is rotating. So let's
No,
not
I'm-
use
no, no,
those
no,
ones.
I'm talking about a mechanical gyroscope,
Right.
right? So they keep their rigidity in space. So if I were to take a mechanical gyroscope, put it in my truck, and drive from one end of the seawall to another in any state of your choosing, what would happen?
I have no idea. From one end of a state to the other?
Well, I'm just going to say if you went along the seawall, for example, of like the Florida, right? Because you're as close to sea level as possible, right? And you had a gyroscope, a mechanical gyroscope in your car, because you can buy those. What would happen if a mechanical gyroscope keeps its rigidity in space?
I don't know what you're trying to say. The gyroscope will process as you go around the Earth, but when you say, I don't even know what the hell you're trying to say
Okay, you know,
as you
okay,
drive
a
along
mechan-
the coast. I
Okay,
don't know what you're saying.
Okay, let me back up. If you have a mechanical gyroscope, right, you can buy those, eBay or whatever, a little miniature one, right? They're mechanical. You can't program software. It has no funky lasers, whatever, all this other stuff that, whatever. You can see what it's doing. It's plain and simple. It's just rotating gyroscope, right? Are we on the same page?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. So if you had that running in a vehicle and you were to progress, and let's just say you climbed a hill, what would happen just right in front of you? Let's just say you had a
Climbed a
driveway.
hill?
Yeah, in your truck, you're driving, you drove up a hill, what would happen to the gyroscope?
If you just went up a hill, I don't know that anything would happen to it.
It would just stay in its position, or would it move noticeably so that you could tell that it kept its that one I guess, ring its rigidity in space, and the others moved, so you could tell that you had actually moved your position. That's how gyroscopes work in layman's terms, is the one way I'm going to explain it. So now, if you take that same concept and you didn't go up, like, say, a hill or a driveway in your truck, and you drove along a long distance from one point to another, the gyroscope would keep its rigidity in space, would it not? So if you ended up, I don't know how many miles away, let's just say
You couldn't
30.
understand the moon example, but this is the one you're going with.
It's the simplest thing you can do to show that the Earth is completely 100% flat without any question. Can you refute it?
I don't even know what you're trying to say. You know that the flat earthers got a sophisticated gyroscope that demonstrated unequivocally 15 degrees of rotation per hour?
Why does that?
So now you're going to take a $15 gyroscope you can buy from Amazon and drive along the coast of Florida, and that proves that the Earth is flat?
Yeah, it's a simple experiment. Very simple.
For a simple mind, perhaps.
Oh, you need complicated, like, lasers and all this weird software. You don't know really what it's doing, but you can't take a mechanical gyroscope that you can see it rotating and expect a certain result, but yet you don't get that result, and the Earth is flat.
Why did
It's
the
just that
ring
simple.
laser gyroscope detect 15 degrees of rotation per hour?
What's that?
Why did the ring laser gyroscope detect 15 degrees of rotation per hour?
Because NASA programmed it that way. That's why.
Great.
Okay, well, my demonstration would prove that there's no NASA involved. There's no lasers that can malfunction. There's nothing, right? It's just.
What evidence do you have that NASA programmed that gyroscope?
Oh, here we go. Okay. I don't care about NASA. I'm just saying what you can see and you can do, and anyone else listening to this can do with their own
Yeah, like watch the sunset.
means. Oh, watch the sunset. I told you that I can prove that a sunset's on a flat Earth, just like you could prove that a
No, you
sunset's
can't.
on a globe.
You can prove that if you take some lensing, you can make that sort of effect appear, but that lensing effect is not what we see in reality, because
Okay,
that
so-
lensing effect deletes the ground in front of you.
Okay, so if I take a P1000 camera and I go to the top of, like, say, a mountain in Colorado, and I view the sunset for hours, and it gets smaller with a lens
doesn't.
filter. Oh, how do you know? Did you do it?
I've seen all kinds of videos of it, and it does not get smaller.
So you're an armchair detective, is what you're saying?
Yeah, sure, go with that.
Okay. What about?
What about the
Chip,
fact
how
that
about
people
something
up in a building will see the sunset after somebody on the ground? How does that make sense on a flat Earth?
I have to do it myself to see. That's what you don't understand.
So you
and
just
people
deny
listening.
that this is a fact.
I'm denying that there's a lot of supposed facts out there, and it's a double guessing game. The only way you get to the bottom of
Average
a double guessing
Christian.
game, the only way you get to the bottom of it is to do these experiments yourself and to see it with yourself.
Yeah, I've
With
seen the
your own eyes.
sunset.
Like I said, the sunset. You okay there? Do I need to call somebody?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, where are you?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not. in
0 out
space,
of
are
10
you?
attempt to get somebody to dox themselves.
What? Are you okay?
I'm getting toward not okay.
Why does this infuriate you so much? Having a discussion.
Well, you're not being serious, so it doesn't bother me that much. But the guy a couple guests before you, he was so fucking stupid that he literally didn't know how a circle worked. So talking to him was pretty infuriating. You're just like trying to be funny.
Well, anyway, going back to, let's see, more experiments that you can do. Would you like to hear them to see that the Earth is flat? How about ships over the horizon, the bread and butter of the
Yep, they disappear
Louder.
bottom first. Next.
doesn't happen.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. It
Yeah,
never
they do.
happens. They go out of view due to perspective. I've done it many, many times. It never happens. I spent hours looking at these ships.
Oh, well, I've never done
supposedly
it,
that go
so
over
I
the
can't
horizon.
take your word for it.
What's that?
I've never done it myself, so I can't take your word for it.
That's what I'm saying. You got to do these for yourself to see the truth.
No, I'm just going to believe that it's a globe and then not do anything for myself. Therefore, you've never proven that the earth is flat.
Well,
A guffaw.
okay. Well, at least you have a sense of humor, kind of, but it's not really that funny.
When do you think Jesus is coming back?
Well, I think it's going to happen whenever the world is corrupt to the point to where it's obvious.
Oh, who'd you vote for?
Well, I think you know the answer to that.
Yes, I do.